I'm just a baby. What's cracking, everybody, and welcome to episode 237 of the Good Kraken podcast. I'm one of your hosts tonight, Arnell Pearson, alongside the five-star man that's busy moving, Devin Brevin, the dude. How you doing, dog?
I'm doing good. I'm reluctantly drinking this pirate water.
What is that? Pirate water? Is it just salt water?
Is it like that agave thing?
I've got a can of water.
No. It's worse. It's much worse.
Okay, and how does it get worse?
This is a malt beverage with natural and artificial flavors.
It's a malt beverage.
The flavor is called Miami Vice.
Me on it. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I don't like that.
There's nothing about that can that's Miami Vice.
I know. It gets better. This is 10% alcohol.
Miami Slums, more like Esco with the subscription. Hello, love. Thank you. We appreciate you so much.
It's terrible, but I'm gonna drink it.
I have my soda stream. I can send you some if you'd like.
It literally
Have water.
I don't know. It's just like
it's like drinking oldie, like all over.
No, it's not quite that.
No.
It's like
it's flavored.
It's like Four Loko. Actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
That is terrible.
Well, we have the man.
Is this what the new midlife crisis looks like?
I mean, this is just me normally, man. This is like, were you around in the beginning when I was shotgunning Four Lokos on this podcast?
I briefly remember seeing a clip or two or something.
You shouldn't be proud of that.
I'm not saying I'm proud of it. I'm just saying this is just me.
We have the man with
sure
Four
that's
Lokos.
Part of the updated contract. You're not supposed to talk about that.
But we also have the man with only one logo today. It is our snack king himself, Garrick Bartholomew Eaton. What's happening, dog?
You had a very loco day, but
that's
yeah, I did.
All four.
He had a
locos
single
were taken from
loco
him.
day.
Yeah, just one loco. Garrick, how are you?
Although, dude, today was fucking.
Yeah.
It was just something, man.
yeah.
But I told my wife about my no good, very bad, horrible day. And,
My wife.
She brought me home. She brought me a Diet Coke and a cheesecake.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. Okay, all right.
See,
all right.
See, bad days sometimes
end
end with W's. Bad days sometimes end with W's.
So yeah, I was like, that definitely, like, I wasn't expecting the, like, she was like, you want me? She's like, do you want a Diet Coke? I was like, I would fucking love a Diet Coke. And then like,
He needs that DC.
then, dude, I was like, yeah, that sounds amazing. And then I got home and I was just like, Diet Coke, and she like opens the fridge and like pulls out the cheesecake, and literally I was just like, oh, cheesecake.
Like, goddamn, I married you for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
I was just like, yeah. I was
like,
like, that fixes his day a little bit. I was like, I'm gonna go wash my hands again real quick, but this fixes it a little bit.
hey, we know you're passionate about cheesecake, so that works out perfectly for you. We're so happy for you, man. Hopefully your L day is ending with W's because of cheesecake. Is it
I am
was
here.
it like one of the personal cheesecakes, or was it
Personal cheesecake? Yeah, New York style.
good shit?
Just chilling in the fridge right now. I'm gonna eat
You see
more
this
of it
guy just acting like a puppy right now?
after the kiss.
Emo.
Is it a guy acting like a puppy, or is it a puppy being a puppy?
I mean, he is a guy.
It's not like you have like a dude like laying on your bed. He's like, I'm just a puppy.
Belly scritches.
That's me.
That
It's
is him.
actually me.
That is him.
Like, I'm just a
He
dog.
is. He's 10 years old and he's like, I'm a puppy.
rough.
Look
you
at
know
him.
what I'm saying?
Doggy.
like Butters and South Park. Just a little doggy. With a ninja star in his eye. We have the man who's got the dog in him, baby. It is Good Kraken's very own DJ, my boy. How are you?
What's up? I'm doing good, dude. I've fucked my sleep schedule a lot more.
Yeah.
So, are you on your third playthrough of Baldur's Gate?
I'm still on my second. I've
fuck a bear?
taken some breaks. I am not gonna go fuck a bear. I'll save that for my
Owlbear?
fourth
Is
playthrough.
it a Chinese sun bear?
No, I wish. But it is a person. It's a druid that turns into a bear. So technically, yes, it is a person
Owlbear or bear
that's
bear?
pretending to be a bear. Just a regular bear.
Have you
know,
done the
that's not fun.
tightrope like owlbear like damage thing yet?
Aloe Vera.
Oh yeah. I have not, but I have used the owlbear, and I also have an owlbear cub at my camp that is
Owlbear.
friends with a dog that I've adopted on my journey. So now they're playing around. They're like brothers. Scratches and the owlbear doesn't have a name.
You should
The
give it a
Albert Cub.
name.
You should name it
I'm
Aloe
thinking about
Vera. Aloe Vera. You know what I'm saying?
Aloe
How about
Vera.
owlbear?
Ooh, there you go. Now we're thinking. Now we're you know.
Owly
making
Vera.
sense.
Okay.
So,
Aloe Vera.
so what time did you go to bed last night? 8:00 a.m.
Close. Like 6:42.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
I'm usually at work already for 45 minutes.
And
Yeah,
then I woke
I'm-
up today
yeah.
like I woke up today at 3:50.
So it looks like DJ's gonna turn into a graveyard shift worker.
Yeah, sounds
just
like
dude,
it.
accidentally, dude.
Dude, the semester is starting in a week, man. I have to wake up. I have to wake up at like at 9. I gotta start waking up at 9 again.
Oh no, guys!
No.
Waking up when you go to bed. I
Oh
love that for you.
no.
Yeah, dude.
Waking up at
So
9.
I gotta go through like I don't know how to fix it. I think I'm just gonna take out some knockout meds and go sleep at like a normal time and see what happens.
You know what you could do? You could smoke some weed.
I don't have any weed.
Hell yeah.
You could do that, man.
Is
do
it
you-
legal in Louisiana? Is it legal there?
It's
I don't
recreational?
think
not.
So, yeah.
It's not. It's not
Yeah,
legal
not
at
yet.
all.
That- any place in the Bible
You
Belt
get
is
caught
not
with,
going to
dude.
be.
You get
legally
caught with
up.
a gram and you're going to prison, brother. I can't.
I mean, that's fair.
Like,
That's fair.
grab down, dude. Sex is suck.
You know, it is finally being introduced and at Senate to legalize.
The only way you get any type of thing is there's like some Delta 8 shit that you can get, but that's
Yeah.
I hate.
Yeah,
I
that
hate
doesn't
Delta
sound
8
good.
shit.
I mean, I'd just
Or
recommend.
THCA.
Oh, actually, no, because the cops cracked down on that, and that place is closed now. So, remember when I
Oh,
talked to you
shit,
guys
really?
about the what was it? The fucking
slushie?
smoothie. It had the slushy, like the bad name. Like I totally forgot. That was Delta 8 shit, and they cracked down on that place. So that place is apparently that guy was whoever owned it was money laundering or some shit. It's something illegal. Fuck
That
going
checks
on.
out for
Oh,
him. That
shit.
checks out.
Good for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Uh,
Well, it certainly
and
sounds
the,
like you're going through it, DJ. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
College student going through it. You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm gonna start abusing other substances,
Oh, I forgot to.
like a Dr Pepper that I just got.
That's a normal thing for you.
What'd you forget?
I
Devin?
forgot to mention this earlier, and I think the only person who might be stoked about this is Xander. I got asked to work production for a tiny moving parts show later this month. Yeah.
That's sick.
They're playing 2 days at in a row at a small venue in Portland that's only 150 cap. And I got
Speaking
asked
of
to
which,
work.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be
we
fun. That's gonna be
have
fun.
a man that is always working a tiny moving part. It is my little Typina. It's Xander.
Let's
I'm
go.
fucking
set you up
nailing
for
these
that one.
segues
I
tonight,
set
baby.
you up.
Let's go.
I set you up for that one.
Xander,
Devin
how you
locked it
doing,
up.
baby
That was
boy? How you
wonderful.
doing?
And they'll slam dunk.
That was the
Fuck it,
best
I'm on my
introduction
A
you've
game
ever
today,
done for
baby,
me.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you know,
I was on
I-
top of it, man.
I think
Good
this is
segue.
gonna be my last episode of Good Kraken because I you can't do a better intro than that. That's like
That's hey.
I have to leave on a high note.
I'll
Don't
take
you
it. But
fucking say that.
but we
I will
do-
fly out there and drag you to Portland and tie you up in a chair.
We love having you here too much to allow that to happen. However, Esco has a great proposition here. Let's all message DJ at 11 p.m. his time and say go to bed.
You know, you guys
absolutely.
understand. I will not read it. I will not read it.
That's true.
It's like that Duke Nukem meme where he's like, "That's a lot of words. Too bad I
We
ain't
gotta
reading them."
You know what we gotta do? We
I
all
know.
gotta harass him and spam him on every single social media platform and gaming.
You guys
platform
realize
that he
I
uses.
don't look at any of them. I barely look at
We
text
need to
messages.
start
He's just, like,
trending
sitting-
#DJ go to bed.
He's just sitting in a dark room, like staring at a wall until 6 o'clock in the morning. Is apparently what this guy does.
Get all
Yeah.
of Virus to be a part of it too. Just get all of them too.
Well, I'm not part of Virus no more, dude.
It doesn't matter. They'll still do it.
They'll still
we'll
do
do
it.
it.
They'll still do it. Xander, how are you today?
Oh, dude, I'm tired. I'm fucking tired. So where we are now, school starts ridiculously early. Like, I've mentioned to
yeah.
you guys before that where we live is like 20 years behind.
Yes.
Clearly, they have no idea that the CDC exists, and the CDC recommends that school should start roughly around like 9 o'clock because then that works better with kids' sleep schedules.
Yes.
We have to be up at 6 fucking o'clock, dude. And
When,
we're
uh,
rushing.
When I was going to school, I literally I would have to be at the bus stop by like 7 a.m.
Yeah,
when I
well,
was
no,
in
and
Oh,
that's
yeah,
the same for me
school
growing up.
started
But
at
like,
7:30.
time has changed. We've learned things. Like, you know, we started her off in school in Massachusetts, and Massachusetts is pretty well known for being really good in the education system. They're up to date with that shit. They started school at 9. That was great. That was perfect. You know, I'm not waking up at the butt crack of dawn. You know. So now, yeah, that's been a thing, but it's been nice, kind of on the flip side, because I've also been really productive on
Wait,
top
did
of that.
she
'Cause, like,
already start school?
yes, yeah, that's
Yeah.
another thing. They start early as fuck.
Dude,
Yeah, no.
Oregon's one of the latest starters for school in the country.
Yeah, dude, I go back to school next week.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, no. If I was still in high school, or if I was in middle school right now, I would have started last week on August
Yeah.
6th.
That's
So, yeah,
trash.
see, we
dude, I'm
started
sorry.
in May, I believe.
But I think they get more
May.
breaks.
No, I'm sorry. We graduated. We got out in May. So no, we started in September.
Oh, so you start early, but you also get out early. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Because we typically finish school years here in June.
Yeah,
okay.
it's
Really?
May for us.
We down here in the South, we finish in May, like first or third week of May. That's when we finish.
So you get an actual summer break. Yeah, that's lucky.
Yeah.
basically.
But no, like I was saying,
but we start in August.
It's been nice.
So like it's a drop. Like it's
That's
just
pretty terrible if
moves
you ask
it.
me.
Yeah, that is pretty terrible, honestly.
Especially,
remember in-
especially if you started right now. If you started school right now in Oregon, you'd be going to school in 110-degree weather.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's fucking hot right now.
that'll be
It
us.
is fucking hot. I hate
Yeah.
this shit. You
not as hot
you
as
might be able
it
to
is down
see
here,
it.
dude.
You might be able to see it, but nowhere in Oregon is there fucking centralized AC, and I am glistening right now.
I have centralized AC.
I'm fuck
I'm
you.
sorry, I'm just
Fuck
dying
you.
at the fact, like the gumption in your voice when you said, "Yeah, it's fucking hot." Like you were just waiting for someone to bring it up.
It's just like I am so hot right now, and not in the
Yeah,
ways
you
that I
are.
wish I was. You know what I mean? I'm not even Jack Black hot, right? Like I don't even have it that way. I'm just sweaty. I'm fucking sweat. DJ, what's up?
That reminds me of two things. Xander's story reminded me of I had to wake up at 5:45 every day for a high school because
too
school
early.
started at 7:10.
Yeah, that was the same as
and-
mine.
Yeah, but like I'm like younger than you. Like it should have changed by then, but you know whatever.
Yeah.
And
Were
then
you still in
two,
Louisiana at the time?
yeah, I've stayed in Louisiana the whole time.
Okay.
Louisiana.
I mean,
fast.
during my tenure as a student, dude, we've gone worse in education. So I guess that's why. But to the point where Mississippi outranked us at one point. That was fucked up.
Shit, you gotta spell good to be there. You gotta spell good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go Gators!
MIPPIPPIPP.
No, in PP. No.
Mississippi.
the weather app on my
Pee pee
phone.
poo poo? Poo poo pee pee?
Every time I check it, there's the severe heat warning. Like it's been like that since June. Like
Love that for you.
it's
Love
not
that for you.
changed. It's just continual severe heat warning. Like look, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's just a high of 100 degrees. Like the whole time. Like you just see the red. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's
Yeah.
been like here too. And the worst thing about the heat, I have a pretty good phone.
Yeah.
My phone has been over fucking heating almost every day.
Have you tried not doing that?
Yeah, don't do that, bud.
Have you tried like not letting that happen? You know what I mean? Like,
Why don't you get a water cooled phone?
yeah, dude.
saying?
Yeah. That
Yeah, upgrade your phone,
Kraken
dude.
cooler, that Kraken cooler for your phone.
Oh,
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
dude.
I will say this phone is like paid off next month. and this motherfucker is getting traded in right away and just getting the newest phone I can get, but having $900 taken off of it right away.
Love that for you. Yeah. The good American capitalist way. You know what I'm saying?
See, the thing is, I was gonna pay off this phone and I was just gonna keep it. That's it. I was just like, oh, there's, I'm saving like $40 a month now. Woo, But no, it overheats.
Well, we hope you guys at home can get overheated tonight, because tonight we're talking Hello Guardian, Gamescom, not Games
Guardian.
why Dredge is better than Call of Duty, and much, much more, because this is a Good Kraken podcast, your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear, live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 12 p.m. If you're on this wave, you can head on over to our Discord channel, where you can submit questions and topics of the show, get exclusive post-show content, and soon have early access to episodes before they go live on podcasts and video services across the digital sea.
Yer.
Thank you, gentlemen. But if you've emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest in entertainment, that is totally fine. You can watch us record this show live right here at twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show.
Arnell's losing so bad.
If you have
Fantasy
Amazon
critic.
Prime, you also have Twitch Prime, DJ.
Prime Gaming.
And we would
Use it.
love for you to give that to us to help keep us pushing content out for all of you that are listening or watching at home. Excuse me. But you can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark. Excuse me again. And leaving a review there.
That's that soda stream right there.
The goddamn bubblies in this bad boy. You know what I'm saying? DJ!
What is it, Arnell?
We have some captain's orders, my friend. Guys, we are still kind of in the we're in just smack dab in the middle of our weird schedule changes for this month. We are not doing any Shipwreck show on Thursday. We are all seeing Blue Beetle so that we can review it on Saturday. And then next week, we might review Gran Turismo? ... question mark. Just kind of depending on how things go from there. But again,
He has a 98% audience score.
a fucking surprisingly high audience score. Yeah, who would have thought?
I'm stoked. I'm actually stoked for this movie.
I'm not. I think it's gonna be.
I have like
dog
less
shit, but
than
that's just
zero
me.
interest in Gran Turismo.
Very, very.
No,
minimal
I'm
interest.
I'm talking about Blue Beetle.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that. Yeah,
Blue
let's go.
Beetle.
Let's
That's
go.
Blue Beetle's gonna be
That's all you have to say. That's all you have to say.
I'm indifferent about Gran Turismo just because of that story that came out recently about how they're, taking an event that happened 2 years after the fact and moving
Yeah.
it forward and using the same likeness and names of somebody
Dramatization
who
of it
died.
all. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, we are very excited to potentially watch both of those movies. In the meantime, guys, please check out our spoiler-free review of a brand new movie called The Last Voyage of the Demeter. That's out on YouTube and podcast services of your choice.
that thing apart.
We get into the nitty-gritty, me, Garrick, and DJ. And spoiler alert,
He moved. I know my son. He moved.
don't do that to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. In the meantime, though, you can instead support us here at Good Kraken. Please, we are right in the late section of the year here. We want to continue to see movies that we can review them with for you guys, as well as video games, and get to do streams like that for you guys as well. So please subscribe to us here at Twitch if you want to be a part of everything that is going on. Help us kind of keep the lights on, basically, as we kind of, roll into the end of this year where things are going to get crazy again, for especially on the game side of things. We're busy. We're busy bees. So please do what you can to support. You don't necessarily have to give us money, but rate us, review us on podcast services, all that good stuff.
Also, check out our stuff on TikTok, Instagram, and
Yes,
YouTube Shorts.
yes, we're back.
posting it.
We're back to posting on socials again. So please go check that out. Share those around. Retweet those. Show your mom. She'll love it.
Show us how funny we are.
Your mom actually told me how hot
Hear me
she
rant.
thinks Garrick is. Actually, fun
Yeah.
facts.
It's true. It's true.
Fun facts.
Garrick's a hit with moms.
Speaking of
That's
Garrick,
true.
actually, Garrick, could you please tell people at home what we're doing next?
Absolutely, people's moms. No, actually,
Yeah.
next we are going to be doing our news segment. We are going to be getting into it. I'm telling y'all some news stories. The helm. Ding, motherfucking ding.
Devin, we have our first story, a bit of a heartbreaker, but also kind of a reprieving one, because we have some great news here to make up for some unfortunate news that we got a while back. Devin, tell the people about it.
One would say some respectable news.
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
Very much. Yeah.
Destiny 2 taps Keith David as Zavala to replace the late Lance Riddick. This is by Ethan Gotch over at Kotaku. Ever since John Wick and The Wire actor Lance Riddick suddenly and unexpectedly passed away earlier this year, Destiny 2 fans have been wondering what would become of his iconic character, Commander Zavala. Today, Bungie announced that the veteran, this was like last week, but they announced that the veteran actor, Keith David, beloved for his video game work in Halo and Mass Effect, will take over in 2024's The Final Shape expansion. Quote, Lance's iconic voice led us through the most intense moments in Destiny's history, and his impact on our Guardians, our community, and Bungie as a whole will never be forgotten, Bungie announced on August 10th. Keith David, a prolific actor on the stage and in television, film, and games, will assume the English language voice of Zavala in The Final Shape and beyond. Separately, Lance's existing lines in the game will remain untouched for the upcoming release. David's appearance in a ton of movies, including The Thing, Platoon, and Nope, but he also has a long history of voice acting in games where he's best known for his performances as the Arbiter in Halo 2 and Captain David Anderson in Mass Effect. Oh man, he does great in that role if anybody's played that game. I am honored to continue the great work of Lance Riddick as Zavala. Lance captured the character's sense of integrity so wonderfully, he said in a press release. It is my intention to continue that work. One of the great qualities of Zavala that really attracts me to his integrity and his sense of family, said David. And I thought Lance Riddick captured that wonderfully. And it is my intention to continue that work and to continue to bring that kind of integrity to the role. It's like the same sentence twice. Riddick was beloved within the Destiny 2 community, not only as a great talent, but also a massive fan of the game himself. He was found to have been playing shortly before his untimely death, and players flocked to the sci-fi MMO's main social hub to pay their respects in the days that followed. Bungie has promised The Final Shape, where David will first make his debut as the new voice of Zavala, will be the cinematic expansion campaign and raid players have been waiting for as the live service loot shooter finishes up its big story arc, a conclusion 10 years in the making.
So we we heard the unfortunate news a while back. Obviously, all of us here have been great Destiny fans to some extent or another. Zavala specifically being a character that all of us have loved. Ex Machina, good night. Have a good night. Sleep.
Good night.
Losing Lance Riddick impacted all of us gravely. Rest in peace to you, King. And the big question here, and Xander, I'll toss this to you first, my friend, is Keith David a choice that you deem worthy of said role?
To be completely
Xander,
honest,
damn it, hold on.
to be completely honest, Keith David is the only option I could have thought of. Like, I was racking my brain about this, and I literally came to the conclusion that Keith David would be the perfect person to play this, because they actually have similar voices to an
Yes.
extent.
Yeah.
And he could easily emulate Zavala. Now, granted, I don't want him to necessarily emulate Lance Reddick's interpretation of this character. I kind of want him to do a little bit of his own thing, kind of make it his own. Like, we had it's kind of like the same thing where we had Peter Dinklage as the Ghost, and then it switched to Nolan North.
Yeah.
Nolan North made it his own. So I kind of want Keith David to do the same because he's also his own voice talent, and I want him to be able to showcase that as well. But Keith David 100% was my number one pick.
I like the idea of a world in which we go into the final shape and it being a little bit more focused on Zavala. So maybe we have an opportunity to see Keith David really give us a different Zavala that is feeling more desperate for whatever story is happening in the final shape as
Yeah.
well. So I think that's a very good call. I definitely agree. Devin, our other Destiny deep diver here, if you will, since you've been playing since fucking day one, D1, my
Dude.
guy.
I've been playing since the beta on PS3.
Yes, sir. You've been in it to win it for a really, really long time, my friend. So obviously you agree with Xander that Keith David was going to be the one to really fill the shoes and very well. Do you have any worries at all about anyone having to fill in for Lance Reddick in this character, generally speaking?
I think prior to this announcement, we were all worried in a sense because we've all played Destiny at, to some extent. I know Xander and I have put thousands of hours into that game. I know Garrick has put a couple hundred, and same with you as well.
Yeah, I think I just
DGJ
hit
or
like
no?
680 the last time I played, right around there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, Keith David is the only choice. He's the only person that is not only a respectable choice, but an honorable choice to Lance Reddick.
For sure. Agreed.
I think he's gonna play the part well. I loved him as Commander Anderson in Mass Effect. That's actually probably one of my favorite roles because that character plays a huge part throughout that whole series, and you interact with him a lot. Also, I'm pretty sure his voice is the one that's used for that Marines commercial. I think that's him too. now that I think about it,
it could be. There's
Yeah.
if not him, then the State Farm guy. Or Allstate, State Farm, Allstate.
Allstate.
One of those two.
Let's look this up.
Allstate.
Is Keith David in the Marines commercial?
It's Keith David. In
Not
the
that I'm
Marines. He's like, "Hoorah, Guardian."
glorifying this. He is.
It is. It's him. Goddamn, son.
Yeah.
Goddamn. All right, good call.
He does the Marines and he does the Navy.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, he does do the Navy one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
So you two
He
can
just-
swab the poop deck, Guardian.
He just
According
has
to
this.
my time wasted on Destiny, I have 500 hours.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
yeah.
Very nice.
My time wasted on Destiny. There's been some great moments in that game. Let's be real here. I know I've had a lot of fun with it, but there is also a reason why I haven't been playing it. Tears of the Kingdom. But I do really like this choice, and I really look forward to seeing him. I think he is going to make it his own, but I think he is going to also bring a lot of the life that Lance brought into that character too. I think he's going to emulate that in his own way.
Okay. Yeah. And I mean, like, that's all we can really hope for, right? I mean, like, obviously they want to pick him. They didn't think he had the chops for it, but it's still like, I mean, Garrick, we can go to you for a second. Obviously, I think out of everyone here, you arguably love Lance Reddick the most. Because I know you've talked about him many a time. many a time in the course of our movie conversations and stuff.
Yeah, but I know a lot of gamers have like an attachment to him as Zavala, but I was pretty fond of him, mostly for his films and stuff. But I think this is like, I too was like kind of just among the folks. So just like, yeah, I was really concerned about who was going to ultimately end up filling his shoes, because obviously like the story was still going to go on, the character was going to go on, and I was even actually wondering if they were going to like use voice archives for a minute and try and replicate something with him going forward, because I'm sure there's enough of his voice work out there now to make something like that happen, if that was something that his like family and like estate allowed for, etc. but I know there's like a lot of hoop jumping and things that kind of get involved with that, and it can be very touchy with how it gets used. But I was actually kind of thinking that was initially going to be their go-to rather than recasting the role. And I had no idea who they were going to cast, but I do think Keith David is just to kind of echo everybody else. So like he's like he's going to do the best job at like paying respect to the role, but also like forwarding, like, furthering the character for like the future of Destiny in a meaningful way that pays respect to all of like, the past however many freaking years Destiny has been going that Lance has already put into the character.
Yeah, man. Like I said, we can only hope that this will go in the direction that we want it to. Obviously, we want him to win. We want him to do well because we would be fucking fools. We see it all the time. People are like, "Oh no, it's gonna be trashy." Like, why are you being that way? Like, you don't need to be that way. Can we at least like feel a little bit of hope going into this? Especially after losing the king himself. I don't know. We can hope that things will go the way that we want them to. In the meantime, DJ. You have a story for us, my friend, about Gamescom coming. Opening night live is hitting August 22nd, and we have a story for all of you at home. DJ, tell them, my friend.
Well, the story today is Gamescom has fewer new games this year, says Jeff Keighley himself. This comes from James Trutton, sorry, from The Gamer. Jeff Keighley has revealed that this year's Gamescom opening night live will be more focused on updates about already revealed games than new titles. A shift he's trying to make clear ahead of its airing on August 22nd. It's going to be an exciting show with new looks at many announced upcoming games like Alan Wake 2 and Black Myth Wukong, Keighley said to VGC. This year's ONL opening night live is less about announcing brand new projects and more about giving fans updates on some of the biggest games due out over the next year, end quote. Nintendo is making an appearance at Gamescom for the first time in 4 years, so we might see more of Super Mario Brothers Wonder, the Mario RPG remake, or any others of its packed release schedule in further detail. Mortal Kombat 1 is due out next month and could make an appearance as it did at EVO and Summer Games Fest. And we'll see Xbox, Bandai Namco, Ubisoft, and Embracer in attendance, all of which have a slew of games coming out from Star Wars Outlaws to Starfield to Tekken 8. Last year's opening night live ran for 2 hours with over 35 games, so we might see a similar scope for 2023. We don't know exactly what will be shown off next week, but Keighley said that the focus is on games releasing within the next 12 months. That could mean anything from Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown to Stalker 2. However, Sony will be skipping Gamescom this year, so don't expect to see anything from Spider-Man during this showcase. While Gamescom is a physical event held in Germany, Opening Night Live is handled by the Game Awards and is streamed digitally across the world. 13 million people tuned in to watch last year across various streams. You don't need to physically be there to see all the trailers or reveals, but Keighley told VGC that the team is, quote, always trying to find ways to create synergy between what's happening on the floor and inside ONL, end quote. The only games confirmed so far for this year's ONL are the two Keighley mentioned, Alan Wake 2 and Black Myth Wukong. So as of right now, there's no idea as to what this year's show will look like. However, we don't have to wait long to find out as it airs next Tuesday in only a week. If you want to watch it, you can find the stream on Twitch or YouTube at 8 p.m. CET, 7 p.m. BST, or 2 p.m. EDT.
CET being Central European time. So the reason that we're not covering opening night live is because it's in Germany. It's happening at 8 p.m. Central European time, which is 11 a.m. Pacific time. Unfortunately, that is just not something we can do as working adults. On a Tuesday morning, we cannot just be jumping out like that. But with that said, DJ, I want to toss this over to you first.
Yes, sir.
Is this a flop for them to not be announcing any new games?
Well, when I read this headline, Ernell, I thought about it for a second. I'm like, that might be a flop considering like the rest of the gamer population, they want to see new games and new titles. But as I'm reading and as I'm seeing, as what James Trutton said in his article here, um, it seems like it doesn't seem as much of a flop, because it's like Keeley's coming out with it himself. Jeff Keeley's like, just don't expect more new shit. We're just expecting new shit for already known new shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I like
so
that.
so it's still new stuff. It's not, of course, it's just bouncing off of what we already know and what we already know is going to release. So I don't think it's going to be much of a flop. I mean, if you look at Evo this year, and we saw all the releases for like the newer info release for Mortal Kombat 1 and Tekken 8 and Street Fighter collab with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. People were still excited about that. There's nothing, no one really said anything negative about that. And of course, I would assume a lot of people would be like, well, we want to see new stuff. But I think by this time of the year, I think we already know what's coming out. We already know uh, what's going to come in the next few months. So it would be cool to see more of these games. I think gamers want to see more of what they want. So I don't think it's going to be a flop.
Okay. Garrick, our educated games man, if you will.
Our resident
Stop.
writer.
Stop it. Garrick, what do we need to see at Gamescom as far as information on games that we already have been getting announcements for, information for prior? What's some stuff that we need to see here in order for us to feel like this is a successful opening night live for us?
Well, with the focus shifting to providing new information and new looks at pre-existing content, I think the biggest thing from this is that I took away from this article is that they're going to be focusing on stuff releasing on them within the next 12 months, which is great actually. I think as a point of focus for the opening night live, specifically because it's going to, even if we don't get a ton of release dates, it's going to narrow down a lot of release dates for these upcoming games that have been floating in the air for a really long time. And I don't think it is without reason, or it's too much of a reach per se to think that some of these release dates are still going to get peppered in around our holiday season. I think there's still room for a couple more of these AA or indie titles, which some of these ones being developed right now are for example, Black Myth Wukong is that's a AA, that's an indie development title, right? It's got a higher budget, but it's a smaller team. And that's going to be getting some love. So if that ends up getting something with say a holiday release date, I think that would be a huge win. I think getting a couple new looks at some of these a lot more of these Eastern games that are going to be coming to the West is going to be a big deal. That I know there's a lot of hype around Blue Protocol still. Amazon Games is still looking to do their closed beta for that towards the end of the summer, which I still think we could get stuff for beta releases or soft release dates for that sort of content. I also think we could get further looks at a lot of stuff from Deck 8. They have a ton of games that got listed a while back. I mean, I'm still hyped for Doki V, which we know has kind of gotten pushed to 2024. But that could still help bring it into it is 2024, but it's in the next 12-month window that they aforementioned in this article, which I think revitalizing hype for some of these games that have been dormant for a minute is going to be a big deal with the way that games are marketed in the future, especially with marketing transparency and product development transparency becoming more and more of a focus for with like what gamers are wanting as like games are in development. Like they want developers to be like, hey, like we want to see your stuff as it's working, not just 12 months of like silence in between, you know, like in between like massive presentations. Like don't be afraid to communicate with your fans and give us like a meaningful update through the means of like trailers or even doing like small showcases. They don't all have to be hour-long pieces of content like Starfield, but there is absolutely an audience for content like that showcase in a bite-sized piece that could be presented at something like Gamescom.
Devin, give me your thought, but also answer me this. Do we see Starfield as sort of the main bread and butter of opening night, if you will?
No, I don't think we do.
Ooh.
I do not think we do.
All right. Go ahead. Go on.
I think just like we talked about last week, I think Starfield has gotten its biggest slice of the limelight, if you will. They'll probably have another trailer will come out for Starfield, like a new one with some similar footage we've already seen with some new things. They might introduce like a deeper dive into something like the perk system, or as we've seen them do in the past with other games, they might release a merchandise line for Starfield, you know, like t-shirts, hoodies, stuff like that. What I do know that is happening though is we're going to be getting a heavy look into Stalker 2 at Gamescom. It is announced that it is going to be playable at Gamescom, and there is a release date floating around of December 1st for the game, which this is a very highly anticipated game. I feel like that's going to be Microsoft's big focus. I think it's going to be Stalker 2 at Gamescom, as well as the new Forza. I think Forza is going to have a bigger precedent over Starfield in this case.
I like it, man. All right. Well, we have obviously lots of hopes for Gamescom. Garrett, you had a final thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to correct myself real quick because I mixed up a development studio and the name of a game title in my head, and they both were incorrect wholeheartedly either way. So the development studio I was actually talking about was Pearl Abyss. So I just want to stand corrected is all.
Oh, sure. No worries, man. No worries. Yeah. Even though we're not going to be covering Gamescom, obviously we love video games and we want nothing but the best for that showcase to happen. I know that I will be watching the drip feed of announcements at work that morning. That's for damn sure.
Is that on a Tuesday?
It is on a Tuesday. Yep. Tuesday, 11
You know, I can live react to that. I have Tuesdays off. I can cover that for us because I was just looking that up. It is going to be 11 a.m. 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yep. It'll be 2 hours long. So, I mean, if one of you guys want to join Devin on that, you're more than welcome to.
If anybody can.
11 a.m. Pacific time?
Pacific time, yes. Yeah.
That'd be 2
9 a.m. my time. I might be able to swing
No,
that.
you're 3 hours ahead. I'm behind you.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
so,
yep.
Opposite way. Sorry. Brain's not braining.
Yeah.
So 1 for you.
1, yeah. Okay.
Are you 2 hours ahead, or are
be
you
able to
still
swing
3
that.
hours ahead?
3.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
no, he's 2 hours ahead of me. My mistake.
That's right.
So it'll be
2 p.m.
2 o'clock for you.
Yeah.
Ooh, that might be cutting it close.
Okay. Well, we'll see. DJ's
yeah.
muted. DJ's muted.
My fault. I was saying 2. I was correcting it. I didn't know.
2 o'clock. He's over here with his mic, be like, just 2. It's 2 o'clock.
It's 2 p.m.
It's 2
He's
hours.
going 2 p.m.
Well, maybe we might be able.
I told you.
We might be able to do a reaction for that. After all, we will keep you guys in the loop on that.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know.
In the meantime, we have some other news that is a little bit disheartening, but there is a conversation around this that needs to be had here. So. The Pokemon World Championships going to Hawaii is proving to be a controversial choice. This comes from Kat Bailey over at IGN, actually not the gamer. Fresh off its most recent turn in Japan, the Pokemon World Championships is returning to Hawaii. It's proving to be a controversial choice in some quarters. Earlier this month, wildfires swept across Maui and other parts of the state, killing at least 99 people. While 85% of the fire is contained, it's still burning in parts of Lahaina, and the governor, Josh Green, expects the death toll to, quote, unquote, go up very significantly. Against the backdrop of this tragedy, a Pokemon Company spokesperson donned Hawaiian shirt and stood on a beach alongside a Pikachu to announce that the 2024 event would be taking place in Honolulu. The Pokemon Company followed this announcement by donating $200,000 to the Hawaii Wildfire Relief Fund. In a statement announcing the donation, the company said, quote, "Our hearts go out to all those who have been impacted by the devastating wildfires in Hawaii," end quote. Some praised the donation, but others had misgivings even beyond the optics of making the announcement in the midst of the devastating wildfires. In particular, they pointed to the influx of tourism that it would bring, which they say has disproportionately impacted Hawaii. Excuse me, got a burp coming. A highly upvoted post by Carl Keone, a Hawaii native, summed up the mixed feelings raised by the announcement. Quote, "There are people right now who want to do right by Hawaii, people who were not interested or paying attention before, and I'm insanely grateful for that," Keone wrote in a lengthy thread. Tourism doesn't help natives, period. To give you an idea, there is only one locally owned hotel on the entire island of Oahu. There are 233 hotels on Oahu. I know because I stayed there last week. Researching what places are locally owned is the key to doing this ethically, end quote. She implored the Pokemon Company to, quote, "work with local natives," emphasis hers, to direct all of their world's attendees and staff to exclusively local services. Anything less is exploitation, end quote. Keone added that tourism was partly to blame for the recent wildfires, claiming that water had been redirected from wetlands to tourist resources such as water features. Quote, "If Pokemon does not put up very real and serious efforts to direct as much of their world's traffic to native Hawaiians, you shouldn't go. As a Japanese-owned company, Nintendo is aware that 10 of the 12 Shinto shrines in the U.S. are in Hawaii. They understand what is sacred," end quote, Keone wrote. An article in the International Relations Review recently described Hawaii tourism as the, quote, "opposite of a paradise for locals," citing overcrowding, damage to the environment, and higher costs of living. This year, Hawaii waived a tourism fee amid what was described as worsening environmental damage. The Pokemon World Championships is an annual competitive event featuring the video games, plural, trading card games, and other releases. It has been held since 2004, with the last event in Hawaii taking place in 2012. It has grown into a major event with more than 1,600 players registering for the competition, and the live stream averaging more than 2 million viewers a day. The Pokemon World Championships have been held in the US, UK, and Canada, with this year's events being the first to be held in Japan. So, obviously, this is pretty heavy. There's a lot of information around this that we don't particularly need to get into a lot of details on. We don't need to talk about how the fire got started, any of that stuff there. I do want to make it blaringly and abundantly clear that what good old Keone was talking about in this post, this thread that she posted, which I retweeted. You can find my Twitter, twitter.com/OceanShrine, and see that there. An in-depth explanation on how Nintendo can go about making this an event that could be actually beneficial for the Hawaiian Islands, the Kingdom of Hawaii, if you will. And as noted, it is very specific to making sure that you're hiring and working Native Hawaiians in your event. Xander, as a fellow marginalized person in this space, obviously the conversation's really like, God damn it, Pokemon, right? God damn it, Pokemon. Mm-hmm. Like, why do you have to fucking do this to us? It was very distasteful to kind of boil it down for them to go about this.
Do you want to start off with the fucking announcement? Like, how insensitive do you have to be to show up in an announcement with a Hawaiian shirt during this?
Yeah.
Like, come on, like, read the room. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Like, I get you're in Japan. I get you're an ocean away, but there's the fucking internet, okay? We know about what goes on over there like a fucking second later, okay?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
We've all been hearing a lot of people talk about the don't vacation in Hawaii if you can help it, please, because you're not helping. you're
Leave
very
them
much
alone.
yeah.
Leave Hawaii alone.
like unless you are a someone who is descendant of the Hawaiian Islands, you probably shouldn't be going there and making things harder.
Or you are personally
it's
invited
just a-
by somebody who lives there, who is
Correct.
descendant.
The way I see it is it's just a byproduct of a more just like everything is for the consumers. That's all anyone ever cares about. No one gives a shit about what was here before and what is sacred to the natives. Like no one gives a shit about that. They just won't care about what they can make money off of. And to be completely honest, I don't see Pokemon doing any of the shit. I don't see them doing any of that.
Well, which was going to be my question.
Are not concerned about it.
That's what was going to be my question to you. Is do you think that Nintendo will actually do the work to make this an event that could actually do more good than harm?
Nintendo would, but the Pokemon Company, I don't think so.
Interesting. Okay. Why is that, you think?
I think with how I've seen what's his name again? Reggie. Something?
Reggie
Fils-Aimé?
Fils-Aimé.
He's not a part of Nintendo anymore.
Head of Nintendo guy.
Well, he
No, he's
is,
not.
but he's
It's
just,
Doug Bowser. No, Reggie is
Reggie left.
joined it.
He's now he's
Well,
a higher position.
he's a
at GameStop,
consultant. He's a consultant for Nintendo now, I believe.
Never mind then.
What are the other? Devin can confirm.
Nintendo
Devin
either.
can confirm.
Doug Bowser is the head of Nintendo right now.
Yes. So is
trust
Reggie
Bowser.
Reggie still consulting for them?
Let's see.
Because I know he went off to GameStop to help them turn around their shit, and then
Yeah,
like
he's-
6 months later, he was like, "Oh, I
He
guess I'll help."
retired in 2019
Yeah,
from Nintendo.
Well, he retired. Okay, all right. Well, I stand
yeah.
corrected.
He's never. Yeah, he's not. Whoa, he was with MTV and VH1 before he was in Nintendo.
Pop up video.
What?
So DJ, let me go to you really quick, man. So the steps obviously that were talked about is hiring native Hawaiians, boosting the economy in the Kingdom of Hawaii by utilizing only locally natively owned hotels, because those are two different things. Let's make that very clear. As a Hawaiian, local and native are two fucking different things. Okay, I just want to make sure that's abundantly clear. They're not the same. They're not the same. A local can be fucking anybody that lives there and drinks pina coladas on a beach. Okay, that's not the same as a native Hawaiian. But DJ, are there any other steps that you see need to be taken to make this event something that is more accepted in the climate of things here?
Dude, like reading that Keone's like statement, I don't think that could have been worded any better. Like there's not a lot that you can do. Like that is, I think what Keone highlighted, that is the most that you could do. Like
Right.
as a corporation that is as big as Pokemon and Nintendo, that is as much as you can do to help the economy. Because like right now, Hawaii's just like it is. I think we've already crossed like kind of almost the point of no return for Hawaii, because like everyone, white people, treat that as like their favorite vacation spot, and there's no choice but to have corporations that see money in that move to Hawaii and like capitalize on all those people going there every fucking year.
Fucking Disney owns like 60% of the goddamn islands, man.
Yeah,
Like-
and it's fucked up to me, because it's like, just leave these people alone, dude. They do not want you there. And like the people who do go every year, like they're just so fucking, they're so numb to that. Like they don't even know it's happening. Like they don't know like the impact that they have on everyone, that all the natives there. It's just it's disheartening. And I wish this whole situation, I would love to be the fly in the room for Nintendo or the Pokemon company's PR team. I want to be in that room listening because I want to know who, if anybody tried to convince those higher ups to be like, you can't do this. This is a very bad idea. I want to see who that person is, and I want to give him a pat on the back and say, you tried your best. Because there's no way, if you are a PR manager or you're in PR in general, or PR meaning public relations, if I didn't make that clear.
Yes.
There's no way someone didn't see all that shit happening in Maui and with that event, because like these events just don't happen spontaneously. They plan this and they think about like there's multiple levels and stages of planning that goes into this. That there should have been a group of people that have been like, hey, this just happened. Do you want to delay this announcement or at least delay the announcement or just switch locations entirely? Because I think that's the best thing they can do. Just move. Just go somewhere else. I don't know, man. Like, stage it in some other fucking uninhabited island. How about that? Like a real, like, Pokemon anime type shit. Like they're just on some random ass fuck off island, battling Pokemon. I don't know.
Fuck off
Find
island.
one. Find an abandoned like, World War II bunker ass island and stage it there. Build a fucking
My thing
building
is,
there.
at what point did they film this announcement?
Like,
at what point did they film it? Because I'm thinking, did anyone speak up against this? Like already, it's bad enough that we're going to be announcing this during a really bad time. Okay.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, to add insult to injury, we're going to just play up the Hawaiian tourism aspect of it all.
And this is for an event in 2024. So they could have delayed this. You don't have to announce it today. Like, this isn't an urgent thing to know about. Like, if you're going to do it, at least be mindful of what's going on.
They could have waited like till the beginning of 2024 at the earliest to announce this.
I mean, they even could have just like waited until December, man. Like wait until things are at least a little bit more fucking alleviated.
Also, I want to say this: Pokemon is one of the biggest franchises in the world. Yeah. Although a $200,000 donation is a lot of money,
great,
that barely helps out a handful of families.
That is the real fucking tea. $200,000. That's fucking it.
This should have been closer to like $2 million or something.
Yeah, that's billions of dollars of damages with that wildfire. Billions.
Oh, we're exceeding billions of dollars of damages by this point.
Yeah.
I will say I've been to Lahaina personally. I did stay there back in 2019, and Kihei. Although when I went to a lot of the local restaurants, especially food carts. Best fish tacos I've ever had in the world were from food carts in Hana, which is on the northeastern side of Maui. Beautiful place. If you do ever go, make sure you are going local. There's lots of local places you can go to, and stay. Don't stay at the big flashy resorts. Don't do it. Just don't. There's plenty of other ways.
Find the native-owned hotel. You can Google it. It's not that damn hard. Xander, and then we'll go to DJ.
Yeah. So just going back to the Pokemon Company's little donation. This is just off of a quick search on Google, but rough estimate numbers. The Pokemon Company's net worth is $975 million with a last reported revenue of $700 million.
92 billion is their current net worth.
Yeah, in 2022
it
was 71 billion. In 2022,
Yeah.
So they've gone up by over 20 billion in 1 year. In 1 year.
And
so the Pokemon Company, just so you guys know, gave you guys their toilet paper.
Pocket.
Literal drop in the bucket.
Yes.
Went.
I was gonna say like. Your favorite Twitch streamer could have scrounged up $200,000 with a charity stream. Like this is
100%
fucked up.
Literally,
This is fucked. Like $92 billion. Okay, you know how much a fucking billion is? Like
they could have bought Activision.
Dude,
That's
if I
a lot, bro.
showed
That's a lot of
you
money.
physically what $1 billion looks like, dude, it looked like a fucking 2-story building. Okay, there's like they have 92 of those. Okay, so the fact that they can't give away one is crazy. Not even okay. Maybe you know what net worth. I get it. The net worth is not everything, right? That's like there's properties, everything.
Sure.
$1 million, maybe like 500,000, half a million, or
Dude,
three
they have
quarters
a
of a million.
million. They have
They
a
have a
million.
million to
They
give
have a
away.
million.
They
They
have
have
a
a
million
million.
liquid,
Yeah, that could
100%.
be like effectively handing someone a $5 bill for them. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
let's see this.
That's just insane.
The average.
Also, if
Got
I
it.
may, just real
Okay.
quickly.
Garrett, go.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Devin.
The average person makes the average expected person makes $50,000 a year on average, right? Right.
Average median income. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's divide 92 billion by 50,000. Let's see how many years it would take to make 92 billion off of 50,000. Are you guys ready for this? Are you ready for this?
You'll be able to go back to the Big Bang. That's how far. That's how many years.
1,840,000. That's how many years an average person with only
That's
making
1/5
50,000.
of Earth's lifespan, like the actual
So,
Earth.
so
1/5 of
again, it should have been a donation of at least $2 million.
Garrett, go ahead.
at least.
Without getting into economics, yeah, it's literally impossible for any individual to make $1 million without exploiting the income of another individual. Just remember that, and I'm going to leave that there. It's impossible to do that. It's literally not possible. So remember that always when you ever think about anything with billionaires. Also, in 2012, the last time they were here, it was held at a Hilton. So
Oh my god, dude. See, repeating
I did.
history.
I did.
you know?
Yeah. I have very little faith that it's going to be somewhere, not only local but also native. Like I don't know. Like
It's
I
fucked.
just don't
Very
think.
minimal.
Just
Very
don't think
minimal
so.
chance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Drax, thank you for the subscription, dog. We love you, man. We love you. Guys, lastly, before we move on here, if you do want an opportunity to support the relief funds over at Maui to help, actually make some change around here, check out twitch.tv/island style. Xander, if you could throw up a shout out for us. Kai, our boy Kai is a longtime friend here at Good Kraken, and he is currently doing a bunch of streams to help gather some funds to donate to the Maui relief stuff. Please go check him out, watch some of his streams, donate some of your money there. He will be able to direct it to all the people that it needs to be directed to through his contacts and relationships. So please go check him out and support as much as you possibly can. Garrick, my friend, we have another segment that we're about to get into. What are we doing next, my man?
Yeah, we are actually we're going to be getting into our meat and taters segment here, if you will.
Taters?
The entree.
Precious. Yeah, the entree of the episode. Have you? But so you better protect your fucking neck, because we are headed to the gallows.
Yo, I want to say one thing real quick.
Yes,
I was listening to Kind of Funny the other day, and that motherfucker Greg Miller, when they went into their headlining segment, goes, "Time to protect your necks," and I was like, "The
What?
fuck?
What the fuck? Wait, what the fuck?
Hey,
What the
Hey.
fuck?
Wait.
Devin's
Yeah.
about
Taking
to
our
go
shit,
listen
man.
through all of Kind of Funny shit and be like, who did it first?
Who did it?
I heard him
we
say
have
it the
2
other
years.
day.
We have 2 years of this shit documented on YouTube, dog. See me, Greg Miller. See me, motherfucker.
I just want to say I've been waiting for the podcast to say this, and I'm about to re-listen because I listened to the episode the other day, and so I know it was in my most recent episodes. But I heard him say that, and I was like, I
I heard
see
that one.
you.
Like, God
I
damn
see you, because I think he just goes, "Hey, yo, Tim, protect your neck,"
Dude,
Here's the
what
deal.
when is the merger happening? Kind of funny, Good Kraken merger.
Kind of cracking. Kind of
Yeah,
cracking.
kind of cracking. Well, you see, Zach does
Yo,
both of
kinda-
all of our artwork is done by the same person.
Good funny.
Good. That's also pretty good.
God damn it! I
also
wish I
pretty-
was there. I want to slap you for that one.
Guys,
Funny.
let's talk about our headlining segment. Tonight, we are having a wonderful conversation where we're going to be discussing the state of AAA games as we know it right now. Here in the great, our Lord's 2023, we're experiencing something very interesting. We have a lot of great indie and AA titles, sort of padding some of this space in between these big AAA bangers that we've been waiting on for throughout this year. We've seen some titles like Dredge, as mentioned earlier in this episode, which is a big hit for one Garrick Bartholomew Eaton here, and many others that are directly competing against AAA games in the sense that they are keeping us wildly entertained. Garrick, I want to start with you, my man. Take us off, if you will. What the fuck are AAA games doing, and why are indie games fucking smashing it right now?
So I noticed like this shift in like myself as like a gamer and a player a couple of years ago. I think during probably during the height of the pandemic actually is when it kind of started, for at least for me, or is when I started to notice like my interest for games shift. And I started picking up a lot more indie titles over the last couple of years, like 2020 forward. I've spent a lot of time playing indie games. Um, and it's not because the AAA titles haven't been good. We've gotten a lot of great AAA games. But what I've been finding more and more frequently about these indie games is you can like feel the craftsmanship that goes into them. Like it doesn't feel like it's like watching a Sundance film versus watching, just like your another like blah blah blockbuster. Like you can kind of feel the love and the nurturing that goes into the project. And some of my favorite games of recent memory have all been indie games that I've been playing, like a lot of them lately. Like I've like Dredge, Death's Door, Cult of the Lamb, uh Short Hike, Venba, Before Their Eyes. Like the list goes on and on and on. These are all games of recent memory that have just come out in the last few years. And not only are these games like memorable for me, but they're memorable for a ton of other players because these games are getting in front of a lot of people despite their small teams, because that we now have I think one thing that I've noticed is we now have publishers that dedicate themselves solely to distributing indie games. And a lot of the time indie games were wholly these developers were wholly independent, and they were funded by things like Kickstarters or individual backers. But now we have studios that allow these smaller teams the funding. I'm fucking looking at you, Devolver Digital. God bless you. Mwah. You're doing the Lord's work out here by
Yum, yum,
providing these smaller dev teams with the ability to like publish these games on the scale that they want by using the resources they have. Yes, Dev.
I was gonna say, not only to forget, probably one of the highest rated games of the year that came out, which is classified as a AA game, is Hi-Fi Rush.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Hi-Fi Rush, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
A lot of
there's
stuff came
which-
from Annapurna lately too.
Which you would say that game was kind of born with a silver spoon in its mouth, because it did come from Bethesda and Microsoft, but it came from a very small team under Tango Gameworks.
I mean, like the list still continues to go on. I mean, between like Hollow Knight, Silk Song, like the last
That's not
Case
out
of
yet.
Benedict Fox.
The
I
thing
know
that
there's
people
games that are
forget,
lined
though.
up for it.
Yeah. I think Silk Song got delayed into 2024.
Gary, continue.
I remember. I'm not sure about that. But I remember really reading about it delay. But a lot of things that people don't like consider is just because these guys have like AAA publishers, that doesn't necessarily mean they're getting a AAA amount of funds from this parent company. Like sometimes they literally are just given like, this is your budget for the game. This is what you have to work with. And a company like Bethesda is way more likely to operate on that sort of level. Where now we're starting to see some of these publishers being like, hey, budget your game for us. Like, you tell us how much you think you're going to need for the project, and we'll try to work it out, rather than the other way around, right? Like, rather than just being given a budget and told this is what you have to work with to make investors happy, like, do this or it's going to shit the bed. And which is what we see on like the big like cog and machine like video games. I'm looking at you, Call of Duty, and you guys can see, and like we can see as players, as like that quality degrading. Every sort of like shit, even fucking Nintendo and Pokemon has started to have a serious conversation of like, maybe we need to back up our release schedule because we're starting to acknowledge that our games are starting to have quality and performance issues that our fan base is simply not willing to overlook. Like, it is like people don't want live service, like day one patch games that are going to fix a shit ton of bugs. I am way more likely to pay a game that is $30, that is 15 to 20 hours, that I know is going to go directly into that developer's pocket, right? If it is because I know that game was going to be well crafted, it's going to have systems that are meaningful, and it's going to be fun. It is going to be entertaining. I'm not going to have to work for it to be an enjoying experience. I can pick up these games that are these bite-sized little fucking masterpieces, eat them up constantly because there's so many of them everywhere these days, and we're eating like filthy freaking kings on the indie side, yet every single time we get these AAA developers, like, they constantly shit the bed. And I think the biggest thing is failing performance. Like, I can count like numerous titles that have released this year that have had specifically crap PC ports. They were great, solid games, but they needed multiple iterations and patches to be able to run on high-end hardware. That is unacceptable to people who are already spending thousands of dollars on their rigs, and then spending $70 on your game and having to spend hours and hours on the back end to personally get their shit to function to play your product. That's unacceptable, man. I'm going to give $40, $50, $60 to any game that I can plug and play, boot up, and have a good time because I know it was crafted with the sense that we want this product to be packaged up and be ready to go to the player as is experience from the gate, which is what indie games constantly do over and over again, and AAAs just keep missing.
Devin, your hand was up.
I will say, as much as I do dog on Call of Duty a lot because of Activision Blizzard, that last Call of Duty release was phenomenal compared to all other like live service games. And I know Ernell and Xander and DJ can back me up on that one. That was a great launch.
Right, but that's
game.
like the exception that proves the rule, right?
Yeah, and I was going to say
out quick though.
Yeah. I was going to say though, the disappointment, especially for high-end systems, was for me this year, one definitely being Redfall. That's probably the most disappointing game of the year. Let's we can all agree on that. Most disappointing game,
Absolutely.
AAA game of the year, 100%. But the first 2 weeks of Jedi Survivor, that was painful. I didn't finish that game up until the last couple weeks because I played it a little bit and had to wait for patches because I was having some game crashes. I was having some performance issues, and I have a really high-end PC. Like I have a PC that's up there, 3070 Ti, 5800X CPU, 32 gigs of RAM. Like that is a more than capable machine. And still having issues with that. And with Redfall, it was just highly, like, probably some of the worst experiences on a launch I've ever had. It's
certainly disappointing because I mean you make a very valid point. I mean it's rare nowadays that we get a AAA title that releases that is a smooth experience from the jump and will continue to be a smooth experience until you finish that game, right? Like God of War Ragnarok was one of those things. That's it. I mean, like this year, there's like there hasn't really in the past like 12 months, there really hasn't been that many AAA titles that have given us a day one good fucking solid experience. We've gotten more better experiences from indie titles, a la Evil Dead the game, which we were able to get into, play together the night of with zero fucking consequence.
Love that game.
And we had the best fucking time of our lives playing that goddamn game. So it really does go to show. Devin and Garrick, you guys make a great point there. It is disheartening. It is disappointing. Now, Xander, I want to go to you here as one could say you are a indie streaming king, because you do stream a lot of indie games and you do genuinely enjoy experiencing indie titles via your PC setup and the content that you create. Do you see a world in which indie titles could potentially, not financially by any means, but could overwhelm AAA titles?
Oh, absolutely. I think we're already seeing it right now.
Okay.
The biggest thing is you look at a lot of the AAA titles that are being played on Twitch right now, right? The most popular ones.
Baldur's
Are
Gate.
any of them games that have come out this year, with the exception of like Baldur's Gate 3?
Not really.
No.
As far
People
as
are
like ones
still
that are being
playing
played
Apex.
right
People
now,
are still playing
right?
Overwatch. People are still playing Call of Duty. No one gives a shit about any of these new games, and there's a good reason why. These companies don't give a shit about what you want. Okay? They just know that, oh, hey, Call of Duty's coming out. We got another Call of Duty coming out. Hey up, because we know you will. We know you'll fucking eat that shit up because it's a big fucking name. It's just like when what pissed me off the most about like streetwear was Supreme, okay? It's a fucking name in a font on a shirt, and you're paying $80, $100 more than that for fucking shirt. I digress. You get the point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly see indie games right now are already on the rise, and they're just going to get better and better and better. And what old businessmen have taught me over the years is that they will never fucking listen. So it's, honestly, unless we get someone, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed and with a little bit more gumption up there making decisions, I don't see the AAA games turning things around. I think indie games are going to be on the rise, and they're going to take over by 2028. And it's just going to be a lovely sea of indie games like Oxenfree. Like Oxenfree 2, I've been playing that shit. Night School Studio, they have some great shit going. I love their art style. And then we got Ret Loop Games Canada coming out with No Love Lost. That's another great indie game to check out. But that's the thing too. Like I feel like indie games have a little bit more freedom to explore more creative ideas, whereas AAA games, they kind of have like this mold where it's like it has to be this certain way, whereas an indie game can be like, you know what, I'm gonna make a game that is like a rhythm shooter, but you're not shooting anything, you're painting things, but you're not painting things necessarily, you're creating creatures that can fight other creatures. You get these awesome, ridiculous concepts because they're just like these little developers that had this idea, this dream to provide a fun story for people to enjoy. Whereas these AAA games are just like, all right, so what kind of cosmetics can we make that people are just going to fucking drop buku amounts of dollars for?
DJ, I see you're champing at the bit, my boy. Go.
Dude, I've been waiting for you to get to me, man. I have so much to say.
Let's
I have
go,
so
dog.
much to
Pop
I'm about to
off.
go on a
Pop
Garrick
off,
right now.
King. Pop off.
I'm about to go on a Garrick right now, okay? So, the reason I brought this discussion to the Good Kraken table was because of the recent buzz of Baldur's Gate 3. And as we know, on social media, there's been a lot of people chirping, a lot of people saying some stuff that in reality, they shouldn't say because they're not a part of either indie game development or just AAA development or indie development at all. But there's still a conversation to be had, and to tie it into what we're discussing today in regards to indie games, I believe that Baldur's Gate 3, the release of Baldur's Gate 3, is the turning point for everyone, or for almost every gamer, to start playing more indie titles. Now, Baldur's Gate 3 is a AAA game. Let's get that out the way.
Yep.
And you're probably wondering, well, how does this
DJ?
help?
How DJ? How does this help
how-
indie games?
Well, thank you for telling me, for asking, or no, because I have a solution for you. There is something that gamers are realizing, because we are getting older, all of us that enjoy these type of games. We are realizing that we are getting screwed left and right by AAA developers and publishers for the last 10 years. Okay? We have been preaching and telling everyone to vote with their wallet and this and that, doing our best to try to stave everyone away from these terrible business practices and all these developers and publishers that treat their game like a product to be sold instead of a game to be experienced. And I believe that Baldur's Gate 3 is what every indie game company has been doing for that. All the games that we've named and dropped in this discussion, they've all had that same type of passion and that same type of love and enjoyment in making and playing their own games, right? You ask any indie developer for any of the developers on Hi-Fi Rush, would they play their own game? Yes. Anyone for Oxenfree, would they play their own game? Yes. Any of them. You'd be like, we play it every day.
Uh-oh. No. Ah, crap.
There was some controversy with Diablo 4. Garrett, I don't know if you've seen it, but there was some devs playing Diablo 4, and it seemed like they had accounts made for them that were level 50, and they were only using the base attacks instead of their spells, going through a World Tier 1 dungeon.
Yeah, man, they're not familiar with their product. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it is terrible. And everyone's saying, I've seen the discourse of there's a guy I even quote tweeted because his tweet came onto my Twitter feed where he said, like, let's not expect what Baldur's Gate 3 for every RPG. It shouldn't set the stand. It shouldn't raise any standards because it's an anomaly. It's, blah blah blah. They said exactly I'll say this. They said this verbatim. They said Larian had 400 plus people working on it with insane funding, and we shouldn't expect that. And then Larian dev replied to them and said, "What funding?" Because they didn't get any funding. I'll let you guys know, if you guys seen that tweet, that they actually contacted Wizards of the Coast and paid them to work on a D&D inspired game. So Larian paid out of pocket for a Baldur's Gate game. And also, they didn't start with 400 people. They actually took on more employees during development, and because they wanted to create a real feature complete game. And if Baldur's Gate didn't do well, their whole company would have exploded. It would have been done. So, and I followed that quote tweet up. I was saying, like, I quote tweeted, I'm like, we should expect more. Why are we not expecting more from AAA games? When like Garrick said, he'd rather pay $40, $50, $60 for an indie title that he knows is crafted from the ground up, top to bottom, the little details, and that it's a playable experience from day one. It doesn't have microtransactions. It's DRM free. You know, you don't need fucking Denuvo to fucking run it, right? And that type of passion, you see that in indie development, but you don't see that in AAA. I want and I hope that Baldur's Gate 3 and everyone hyping the game is going to push that. I hope it opens people's eyes, like, and I gotta remind you guys, Baldur's Gate 3 is a CRPG. It's a very niche genre of RPG.
Niche. Super fucking
It's
niche.
turn-based. It is turn-based. That's also a super niche thing.
Yeah, and I
Tanner.
will say I hate turn-based games, and I love Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. To my point exactly, like, because you see the amount of work that they put in to make that game, like every point of it, it's just well crafted, and they care about it, right? And I want to say to, I guess, AAA execs, right, or the execs that own publishing or whatever, like, I don't give a fuck about the decorum of a restaurant. I don't care about the service. I don't care about the fucking decor if the food is smacking. Okay? If the food is great,
Fair.
I'm going back
Fair.
every time. It could be a rundown fucking food truck. It could be on the truck bed of a fucking Tacoma. I don't give a fuck.
Hey,
If it
what's
is
wrong with
a-
Tacomas?
I don't. It's a
Lots of
rundown one, like fell in a lake. But anyway, I'm saying that I could ignore the service and the decorum if the food is fucking banging. Okay? So why the fuck am I going into this you paint this lavish little fucking restaurant. You have all the little gold and sparkly bits, you know, the service might be top notch or maybe not, you know, depending on AAA games these days. You never know. But the food is trash, and you giving me like these small ass portions. That's what I feel like at those high end restaurants. Those, I don't give a fuck if it has 3 Michelin stars. This shit is ass. This is a terrible product. You didn't even finish the dish, dude. What's all this art? I don't care. If it doesn't taste good, I'm not gonna fucking eat it again. But Baldur's Gate said, "We'll do you one better. We have the decorum. We have the service, top notch, dude, and we have great fucking food. And you're gonna come back and eat again and again and again." And I feel like it's just like indie games are your little mom and pops. You're like your favorite, like, you know, hole in the wall restaurant, right? You know,
always come back to
there's a
food.
sense of community there. You can connect with the people who make the food, as you can with indie games. You can connect with people who made the fucking game. I don't even know 90% of the people who made Diablo 4. I don't even know if they
train is
exist.
on our end, audio listener. Sorry.
And like Diablo 4 had thousands of people work. 4,000, I heard. Like, I think that's the number. 4,000 developers working. And I think gamers have voted with their wallets, and I think now gamers need to hold developers and executives accountable.
I like that.
And I know it's a hot take. Because, oh, game development is hard. I get it. It's tough. Game development is not easy. I can't make a fucking game overnight. I can't do it. Not me. Right? Coding makes my head hurt. But have you ever heard of a job that didn't have incompetent people at it? Name a job that you have that you've worked at where there isn't one person doing nothing. Or not even there. So why the fuck am I supposed to believe?
Spitting facts, dude. Jesus Christ.
How am I supposed to believe that out of 4,000 people in that development, not like 20 people aren't doing their fucking job? How am I supposed to believe that? How am I supposed? Oh, so I'm supposed to excuse every dev because game dev is hard? Fucking construction is hard. Okay, there's one fucker that's not doing anything, and he's the supervisor.
We call them the white hats.
Yeah, like
My man used unskilled labor as a fucking example.
Sounds like a skill issue.
like, but my point stands as it's like there isn't a job out there that there isn't incompetent people working at. So I understand that most game devs want to give you a quality product, and that executives kind of push them back because of deadlines and funding. Okay, I completely understand that. But there's gotta be a number of devs out there that just don't give a fuck about video games. They're just there for the money, and they're there to just cash in that check every few weeks, right?
The same goes with leadership. Have you seen Jim Ryan?
Yeah, dude, he doesn't even play the game. Dude, Phil Spencer plays his own game. I retweeted a video. He plays Fallout 76.
Phil Spencer's never gonna fuck you, Devin. I'm sorry. He ain't gonna
It has
fuck you,
nothing
bro.
to do with Phil
He ain't gonna
Spencer.
fuck you,
It's just
bro.
literally, I'm saying it exactly how it is. Everybody knows that Jim Ryan is a sleazy piece of shit.
Here's
Everybody
Phil Spencer's balls, and here's Devin.
I feel like you're
Devin's
closer to that
point-
than me. Let's be real.
But to Devin's point, like, the reason I retweeted that video of Phil Spencer just playing Fallout 76, like someone found him online, is that was rare to people. That's rare to think about. Like, why are we surprised that an executive is playing the games that he is like putting his names on? Like, Xander, go ahead.
Fun fact,
be quick,
if
Xander,
you
'cause Devin's
search
up next.
Jim Ryan Sony, the second link that pops up is change.org petition to remove Jim Ryan as CEO.
Also,
Devin, go ahead.
I will say one of the rare cases. I think you guys might remember this. Last year, I actually ran into one of the Halo Infinite devs in a Discord, and befriended him and started playing Halo with him. It is a cool feeling when you run into people who work on games and you get to play games with those people.
And you said, "Damn, bro, this game's trash." Dude. He's like, right,
dude. You know, whatever the fuck you say, Halo Infinite multiplayer is fun as fuck, and
Yeah,
remains
I will
fun as
agree
fuck.
with
It was
that.
fun.
Halo
No,
Infinite
it's
was
still fun. I still
it
pop
still
on
is.
there
It's
every now and
just
then.
something. I think when you look at it as a live service game, that's when it becomes not so fun. But when, like, if we were to link up and we just like, all right, we're just gonna fucking
miss
hop
Halo
on for a
nights.
couple hours and yeah, we do just do a fucking Halo night with just the
I
buds.
miss that.
It is still a
I miss
very
it.
fun game.
Devin yells at you if you lose.
That's why I play with Xander.
Then yell at him back.
Yeah.
Where's your
It's not a
recital?
tango, man.
Yeah, it takes to get better. But I do want to say, DJ, since this is now the 14th day in a row you have talked about Baldur's Gate 3 with us.
Because it's so good. I'm sorry. Not sorry,
I
though.
finally
It's
did
such
it.
a good
I finally did it.
You bought it?
He finally did it. He did it.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I'm 10 gigabytes out of the 100 gigabytes it takes to download this game.
Jesus
now.
Christ, Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
I would have
dude.
waited. Dude, I would have told you to wait till you moved because you're gonna get withdrawal for not playing it while you're moving, and
I'm
you're be like,
currently
"Fuck,
having
I'm gonna
withdrawal.
set up right."
I'm
real
gonna be
fast."
fine. I'm gonna be fine. Don't worry about me. I have a Switch. I have Tears of the Kingdom on there, and that
Okay.
game is forever. That
But
game
you're
is,
gonna compare that to Baldur's Gate, and you're gonna be like, "Man, I wish I could play."
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, DJ. It's still gonna get Game of the Year over Baldur's Gate.
Damn.
I'm actually a little salty that the game.
I want you. You put your money where your mouth is.
Well,
and
why do you think I got it? I have
by
to
the-
test it.
Yes, I'll tell you, 10 hours in, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I know, I get it now."
Okay. I see.
It's
I
like I
am
discovered
part of the
fire for
niche
the first
audience
time
too.
as a
I am
human.
part of the niche audience. Like, I play these kinds of games. Dragon Age Origins is one of my favorite RPGs of all time.
And
but
you're
I
gonna
still
fucking love
like
it.
I still like Zelda more than that though. You know what I mean?
You love
like,
Mass Effect.
He likes empty
I do
games.
love Mass Effect. Ask
You think
Ernell.
you're gonna
Ask
love
Ernell how
this.
much I love Mass
He
Effect.
does like that. He's a pretty. diehard
This
Mass
is it.
Effect
This
fan.
feels like BioWare, dude. It feels like BioWare.
Well,
These are my kind of games.
I am gonna
100%.
I'm gonna have to cut us off there, gentlemen. As much as I love you guys, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. It sounds like indies will take over. It sounds like indies will take over.
Maybe.
I love indie.
I
Nah,
think we're at
man.
like a 50-50 split.
We're
right now.
gonna get an
Ultimate Lamb
entire
is so good.
franchise of replaced, and it's gonna be better than every AAA game in 2024. Just watch.
Guess whose fantasy critic list that's on?
Yeah, I know. I hate you. I hate you. Guys, let's talk about our schedule for the rest of this week. So Thursday, like we mentioned earlier, we are not doing the Shipwreck show. We're going to be taking that day off so that we can go see a movie. But Friday, we will be here to play the Texas Chainsaw Massacre for our multiplayer gameplay stream. Xander, were you doing anything on Friday? Did you wanna play some Chainsaw Massacre with us, baby boy?
I'm gonna be in New York.
All right. Well, it looks like
New York.
me, Devin, and DJ will be here to play. Some...
Actually,
Oh, sweet
I won't be here
motherfuck.
Friday night.
Sweet motherfuck. Jesus Christ. It sounds like me and DJ will be here to play some Texas
I don't
Chainsaw.
think it's crossplay right now, so I don't know if we
It is.
It is crossplay. It is crossplay.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I got you
That's
there.
what I was
I
like,
got you there, motherfucker.
We did look at the crossplay in advance, dude. I didn't even have a choice, dude. I fucking said no, and I got told otherwise.
we're
Well,
Garrett
me,
was Garrett
me,
sat down.
me and DJ
We're
will
going.
have a good time. We'll make it happen for you guys. That'll be 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time, and then Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, we'll be doing our official spoiler-free review of Blue Beetle. Devin, what
I'll be there.
for Saturday?
Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle. Anyways, you guys can catch us there for that right here at twitch.tv/GoodKraken Guys, please let us know whether you think that indie games will take over the entire games industry. Honestly, I mean,
Because they will.
Because
need a revolution.
If you think
will
they
happen,
won't,
yeah.
you're wrong. But
It's
okay.
it is the next revolution, honestly. Please let us know your thoughts at home. Let us know on Discord. Let us know on Twitter. We love hearing from you guys. Anyways, this has been the Good Kraken Podcast, your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you wanted to hear, live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 12 p.m. right here at twitch.tv/GoodKrakenShow. If you're riding this wave, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can submit questions to the top of the show. You get exclusive content, and soon you will also have early access to episodes before they go live on podcasts and video services across the digital. See. You get all sports by going to our YouTube channel, clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and leaving a review there.
review.
We have to get going, everybody. But until next time, my friends, pre-order a brand new indie game. Do it for yourselves.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Buy an indie game. Play
Pre-order
it.
Box and
Modern
free-
You can
Warfare
probably
3.
get like
fucked up.
3 for the price of one AAA game. Even.
Yeah, go
Pre-order
on
Modern
Humble
Warfare
Bundle.
3.
Go wild.
Even better.
Humble Bundle
did
got it.
Did you hear that Modern Warfare 3 is supposed to be like 40 or 50 bucks?
Shut the fuck
Still
up.
not beating Baldur's Gate 3.
Even better.
Fuck
Do
yeah,
yourself a
play an
favor.
indie game.
Pre-order an indie game and then donate the rest of your money that you would have spent on a full-scale AAA game and give it to Hawaii. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do.
That's
100%.
true.
Long live the
Unless
kingdom,
it's Baldur's
baby.
Gate 3 because I just bought that, so don't judge me.
Long live the
Baldur's Gate
kingdom,
3.
baby. Good night.